I am honored to perform this next task. The pleasure of introducing tonight's honoree, Jerry Sweeney, President and CEO of Brandywine Realty Trust. Jerry Sweeney has served as President, CEO, and trustee of the company since 1994 and President since 1988. During that time, he has seen the growth of Brandywine from 4 properties with a total market capitalization of less than $5 million, which sounds like a lot to me, to more than 33 million square feet and a total market capitalization of approximately $4.6 billion. That's right. The National Association of Corporate Directors, Philadelphia chapter, recently selected Jerry Sweeney as one of the top 10 board chairs in Philadelphia. Philadelphia Business Journal also voted Jerry as one of the most influential business people in our city. Jerry Sweeney is a strong supporter of Catholic education and has been both advocate and a provider of tuition scholarships that have helped dozens of our students afford a great education. And as you can see from tonight, in so many ways, Jerry cares a great deal about our students and what their potential is. Tonight, we present the St. Martin de Porres Award to Jerry Sweeney in recognition of his devoted service to and generous support of St. Martin de Porres. The St. Martin de Porres Award honors an individual with a passion to see the students of St. Martin de Porres School grow and excel. Such demonstrated passion can be seen through dedicated years of service and support of the school. We see how this award being bestowed upon Jerry Sweeney can continue to help transform children's lives into the future. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming tonight's honoree, Jerry Sweeney.
Great crowd. Great crowd. Thank you all for coming. It's marvelous. I know there's a lot of demands on everyone's time. And as you've seen tonight through the children, you've heard so far, and you'll hear later, this really is a special event honoring a very special institution. So I'd like to thank all of you who contributed to making this evening such a great success, both financially and operationally, particularly to our doctorate and to our master's sponsors. I'd also like to thank Bob Morrison, the entire team at St. Martin's, Jack Donnelly, the board chair, Jack, and the folks at Brandywine who worked together to make this a very successful evening. You know, in trying to think about what I could say about St. Martin's and Catholic education, it was a bit of a challenge to kind of synthesize some thoughts, but you know, there's an old proverb that says, if you're planning for a year, sow rice. If you're planning for a decade, plant trees. And if you're planning for a lifetime, educate people. And there's no greater on-point saying that I could think of than that for St. Martin de Porres. A few years ago, I was asked by Jack Donnelly to consider making an investment, that is investing in children in North Philadelphia, to help revitalize an area through education. The children were growing up in one of the poorest high crime areas of the city. The school had a shoestring budget, was struggling to stay open, and yet was serving as a true beacon of hope in a neighborhood beset by challenges. So I believed Jack, as I always believed Jack, and I became a supporter. And what I saw of the school and its students was even more impressive than I could have imagined. Despite the crime and poverty, there's more than 440 elementary students at St. Martin's that arrive every day eager to learn, dreaming big dreams like all of us do, and wanting nothing more than to achieve. St. Martin's, as you may know, is located in one of the poorest congressional districts in the United States and is a neighbor to some of Pennsylvania's lowest performing schools. Yet, the children at St. Martin's are different, and there is a difference. So if you're looking for inspiration, and you're looking for clarity, if you're seeking to find an example of God's hand at work, if you're hoping to see the beautiful combination of the joy in learning and disciplined dedication, then you must visit St. Martin's and see what I saw. Really quite special. You can see on their faces of the students that they have a vision for where they want to go, and that's a gift. They have marvelous aspirations to be neurologists, surgeons, police officers, CPAs, teachers, opera singers, political speechwriters. And as you listen to them, you can feel their determination that one day they'll make it happen. And that's really what education's all about, the ability to believe. You know, one of the visits up there, I visited Bob. I was running behind schedule. Like most of you, was trying to do 3 or 4 things at the time. I'm on a conference call. You're running here, you're running there. So I was half an hour late. So of course, Bob's out waiting outside a very cold day, freezing. So he did a very elegant way of continuing that transfer of Irish Catholic guilt back to me. So not only was I late, but he was going to catch a cold. But we wound up taking a tour of the school and visiting a number of classrooms. And I have to tell you, you could feel the energy when you went inside the school. First class he took me into was a 4th grade advanced math class. So for me, where math was my worst subject by far in school, to walk into a 4th grade advanced math class, I was convinced that every student in there knew more math than I did. So they were working on fractions, so we were talking about applying math to building buildings, which is what I do. And there's a young man, he's kind of sitting towards the back, and he's looking at me like this, kind of studying me when I'm talking. And so I finished my little speech before I thought I lost all their attention, and I asked for questions. His hand goes right up, and he looks at me and he goes, "Do you like what you do?" And I said, you know, that is amazing. That's like the best question you can ask somebody. And right then I knew that the ability of St. Martin's to inculcate into young people the ability to think and direct a linear path was amazing. It was one, because you get asked a lot of questions, but the fundamental question of do you like what you do is at the essence of what we're all about. So he was trying to form a value judgment from what I was saying on, does this guy, he's in a tie, I've never seen him before, he has cufflinks on, does he like what he does? And it was great. And every child in the class was engaged. We then moved on to a few other classes, went into an 8th grade class of students who will soon graduate. And I was telling them about one of the projects we're doing in University City, where it's a student housing project. And I have to tell you, by the time we were done that discussion, we had redesigned that entire project. Those kids were totally engaged, and you can see the enthusiasm in their eyes. It was quite special. They visited a pre-K classroom where walk in, they're at these little tiny tables. So of course, Bob said, well, you have to stand on one of the little tiny tables, which is, you know, hard to do. But they're all working on iPads, they're learning English, they're learning color assimilation, math. But the attitude was so special. We've all been in schools, and the attitude of these children, I will tell you, is like nothing you've ever seen. And the excitement is throughout the entire school. And I think a lot of that is due to the fact that you have an incredibly dedicated staff of teachers and staff members there. They have an average of 10 years of teaching experience, and 50% of the teaching staff there has advanced degrees reflecting their desire to contribute. They believe and they really do deserve it. They believe, as I do, that the value in what we do lies in the difference we can make. And you can sense the pride they have with humility that they can actually influence lives. It's not just a job, it's a calling, and they have the vision to help those children find their way along. And the school truly does deliver on its promises. 100% of the 8th graders graduate, 90% are accepted into private high schools, with others getting to preferred charter or preferred public schools. They're going to great colleges. We just heard a great example of that. What a wonderful story that is. They're getting master's degrees, they're getting MBAs, and they're pursuing rewarding careers across the whole spectrum of career choices, from professional to social work to teacher. It's amazing the track record of students who go there. So it's an honor for me to be a supporter and a business partner with St. Martin's and be part of the St. Martin de Porres family. I'm deeply grateful to each of you for the part you've played in making this evening a success. The financial resources raised from this dinner will go a long way to helping them over the course of the year. It benefits both the children and benefits the staff execute on their deeply held beliefs and execute the school's mission. And I believe one day you'll see a return of your investment when you discover the name of St. Martin de Porres on a job application of a young person who's going to become one of your great employees, your business partner, a community leader, all working together to make Philadelphia area a much more wonderful place. And I'll tell you, given the magnitude of the work they do at St. Martin's, I thought it was appropriate to close with one of my favorite verses from the Bible, which is Hebrews 13:2, which is, "Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by so doing, some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it." Well, on my visit to St. Martin's, I met angels young and old. You can't help but leave there with a sense of calm, with a sense of wonder, and without a prayer of thanks to God for granting you a glimpse into the lives and the souls and aspirations of a truly amazing group of children. It really is an amazing place. So I promise you, if you visit St. Martin's, it will ground you, and at least for a moment, your life will be back on the right path. And that's a return on investment none of you will soon forget. So I encourage you to remain involved with this school. We've all have demands in our times, but I will tell you, this is a special place. What they do with these children, how these children grow and how they develop, is a gift. And you can't walk into that school, can't drive through that neighborhood, can't walk those streets without realizing what a true oasis of hope this school is. They need money, they need resources, they need volunteers, and those of you who are here for the first time being exposed to the school, let's use this as a takeoff point to increase our level of engagement. So I am truly honored to be recognized tonight. What I do pales next to what you all do and the people who work at the school. So really, on behalf of our team here at Brandywine, I'm honored to accept this, and thank you all again very much for your support.
Larry, on behalf of all of us, again, we thank you for accepting the honor and for all you do for education.
Thank you very much.